Welcome back. So in this video we are going to explain the attribute name and values, and also we'll explain the two attributes, class and ID.
So what is an attribute? An attribute is a special modifier you can bind to some tags. They are available in the opening tag of the element and also provide additional information about the content of an element. If you want to add an attribute, it is essential to add its two parts, the attribute name and value, that in between them there's an equal sign that will make more sense soon. So what about the attribute name? The attribute name specifies what kind of detail you are loading the element content with. It should be written in lowercase, although it works with uppercase, but again it should be in lowercase. So let's explain it with our old code. The length in the meta tag is the attribute name. It refers to language, and language is obviously the extra information we are providing about the element. Here we are providing extra information on our page. And what is the value? The value is basically the option or setting for the attribute name. In other words, it is the information we are providing to the name. First, it should be placed in double quotes, and second, sometimes different attributes can have different values. So here when we type EN, we are referring to English. So we are saying that the language we are using in this web page is English. The information we are changing or creating is the language, and we are giving an option to it, which is English. The ID and class attribute allow you to identify particular element in your page. Most of the time they are used in CSS and JavaScript, but they are still useful in some ways in HTML, and especially in links and stuff like it. Now, because it is an attribute, we have to add it inside the opening element, just like this. I will start by creating a normal paragraph, and inside it I will add the attribute name ID and another one with the attribute name class. As you can see, the suggestion pop up, so I will press enter and the attribute name with the equal and code sign will appear automatically. So the ID basically creates an identifier for the field that we want to add a color or styling the CSS. When you want to add some styling in CSS, you will use the ID so that the border knows which field or division you want to style.
Maybe you'll not understand 100% what these attributes are used for, but remember that they are used in CSS more than HTML alone. And that's why we will add some CSS in our code.
Overall, the class has the same functionality to the ID. You have to give the class or ID a name so they can work properly. Pay attention, you can't have a space between them, so that's why I added an underscore instead of space. A space will be considered especially in the class name that it has two classes. The first one is the parag and the second one is the number 1. But then you will ask me, what is the difference between these two? Well, the only difference between an ID and a class attribute is that ID is a unique identifier in a page and can only apply to one and only one element, while class selector can apply to multiple elements. Although ID works if you use it multiple times, but it is not the way it works. So overall, you can assign multiple paragraph to a single class, but you can't assign multiple paragraph to a single ID. You can use both class and ID attribute at the same time, but if it is the same functionality, for example, you are changing background color, then ID will override the class. I wrote some CSS here, but ignore it, it is just for the purpose of the video. I will give the class a red color and the ID a green color. First of all, as you can see, each specific paragraph will be colored differently, but the one that has both attribute, class and ID is colored the same way as the paragraph with the ID attribute. That's why we say that the ID overrides the class.
That's it. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to learn new skills in the future. And if you want the full HTML course, then you can get it on Udemy, link down in the description. And also don't forget to follow me on Instagram and LinkedIn. And I'll see you on next Friday. Goodbye.